Good afternoon. I'm Dan DeRose with 19 News Now, coming to you from our digital studio. We want to talk the Cleveland mayor's race. We are quickly approaching a pretty big deadline for those who want to try and lead this city. After 16 years under Mayor Frank Jackson, that is a long time, and actually it's the longest serving mayor in the city of Cleveland, 16 years. And by 4 o'clock, if any candidate wants to be put on the September 14th primary ballot, they have to get in all the paperwork, which does include a number of signatures that then have to be verified, a petition of signatures that have to be verified. And as of now, and you see on the bottom of your screen there, we talk about 14 candidates. That number is sort of mixing around. You've got some people who have talked about how they want to run for mayor, that they intend to run for mayor of Cleveland, but maybe have not really done the work or are going to get their paperwork in. So we're going to focus on what we know as of the 14 major candidates. And it is a diverse group. You have men and women. You have some that are extremely well known and have dedicated their lives to politics. You have an 18-year-old who has obviously never held office before, and everything in between. We have a couple of veterans. We have a Republican on the list. We also have two veterans. I believe I said that. We have two veterans on the list. We also have an officer, a former deputy with the Cuyahoga County Sheriff's Office. So it is a big group. How many of them will actually get their information turned in today by 4 o'clock? We're going to have to wait and see. The Cuyahoga County Board of Elections is going to put out that list at about 4 o'clock. But we want to have the conversation now as we move forward. So I'm going to welcome in Anita Ruf-Young. She is with Cleveland State, the Office of Civic Engagement. Let me make sure I get this exactly correctly. Cleveland State University, Levin College of Urban Affairs. And they are doing what they can to make sure the students who are attending Cleveland State are engaged in the politics of the local community and the school in which they're attending. Anita, welcome in. We appreciate the time today.
Thank you. Hi, Dan.
How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Not too shabby. Let's talk about this. This is a big deadline and really a big day for the city of Cleveland. Whether you love Mayor Frank Jackson, whether you don't, this is the chance to find a new leader for the city of Cleveland after 16 years. Is it a big deal to everybody that watches politics, or is it just a big deal to us because we're journalists?
No, I think it's a big deal to everybody. If you care about the city of Cleveland, I think it's a big deal to you. There's a lot of issues facing the city of Cleveland right now, and most of our issues are local issues that affect our daily lives. And so if you care about those issues, you know, from streets to your school systems, to lead and water pipes, to crime, to bringing business here to Cleveland, infant mortality, those types of things, then you should care about this race.
Well, you just said a mouthful. That is a wide range of topics. Hopefully that's what we get to hear from these candidates between now and September 14th. Let's remind people this is how it works. Let's say all 14 individuals get their paperwork in today. They will all be put on the September 14th primary. They'll all do their best to run and get your votes, hopefully hold some debates between now and the primary. Then on September 14th, all Clevelanders who are registered to vote are eligible to vote for this. You'll put your candidate, and the top two finishers, whether they're Democrats or Republican, will go on to the November 2nd ballot. So you'll have two that'll go head to head for November 2nd to find out who will lead the city of Cleveland. Without jumping into the names just yet, Anita, what strikes you about the fact that there are 14 presumed candidates at this point? What does that say to you?
I think what that says to me is that there's a lot of people that care about Cleveland. They want to make a shift. They want to make a difference in Cleveland. They want to be part of going forward and moving our city forward. And like you said in your opening, it's a diverse pool of candidates. You have everything from presidents of city councils to nonprofit executives. You have state senators, U.S. Senators. So I think that it shows we have a lot of experienced people and maybe less experienced people, but that doesn't mean that they don't care about the city of Cleveland and that they want to be involved to make that difference. So I think it's giving Clevelanders a choice. And we're going to hopefully see a lot of debates, like you said, and that'll enable people to see where these candidates are coming from and what they can offer our city.
Let's look right at the top at the person who has the most experience. That's obviously Dennis Kucinich. He was mayor of the city of Cleveland for just 2 short years before he moved on to Washington, was a congressman for a number of years, was defeated a few years ago and has been sort of quiet for a few years, and now deciding that maybe you bookend your career by coming back to the city that made you the youngest mayor of a major city in history.
Right,
maybe you come back
at age 31.
Yeah, at age 31. Maybe you come back and become mayor again. Were you surprised by hearing Dennis Kucinich throw his name back in?
I really wasn't. I wasn't surprised. He's long loved the state of Ohio, the city of Cleveland. I think if you look at his history that he talked about in his announcement for mayor, he talked about growing up, how he dealt with a lot of the issues that people in Cleveland are dealing with. His family moved around a lot. He had a lot of different homes. 2 of them were cars, he had mentioned, trying to get educated and, be a public servant. So I wasn't really surprised that he'd want to come back and be part of the city of Cleveland's change in leadership.
Yeah, and there is going to be a change. There's no doubt about that. And we really saw interest. Some of these names of people who were going to run were going to run regardless of whether Mayor Frank Jackson retired or said he was going to rerun. It was one of those things that was up in the air. We have to remember 4 years ago when Frank Jackson ran for mayor for re-election, he said this would be his last term. And then he didn't say that so much over the last 4 years that he's been mayor. And everybody wondered, well, wait a second, why aren't you coming out and saying you're not running again? He took it up really until the last month or two to officially come out and say he's out of the race. Let's talk about some of the younger candidates. The first name that jumps out is maybe Councilmember Bashir Jones. He is council member of Ward 7, first elected in 2017. He's the first Muslim representative on the Cleveland City Council. Bashir Jones is a name and a man who has been doing a lot of work throughout the neighborhoods of Cleveland. What does it say that we see so many young people try and get involved here?
I think when you're looking at the younger candidates, I think they're tired of career politicians. I think they hear by growing up and going to school in the local neighborhoods. Not only was there Bashir Jones that did that, but you also have Justin Bibb. I think they know what the issues are. They've talked to the people, they've lived them themselves. And I think they want to start making change. They want to make city council meetings more transparent. They want to make City Hall more accessible. I think they want to address the issues that they feel are holding back our city, getting things, attracting other businesses, infrastructure. And I think they want to bring a new energy to our city. I think that they can make a difference because a lot of them look at community organizing and community-based development and engagement as the future of politics, not necessarily doing the status quo and the same thing over and over.
Let's talk about the fact that as of now, it really appears to me, and the candidates will have to forgive me if I haven't done complete bio searches on all 14 of them, but it appears to me we only have one Republican running at this point, and that is Landry Simmons. He has been a 25-year deputy with the Cuyahoga County Sheriff's Department. I believe he's with CMHA now. He has been a community member of the Cuyahoga County Republican Party. Tough sledding historically for any Republican to try and make waves, especially at the mayoral level, correct?
I agree with that completely.
Yeah, so that's going to be a tough go. I mean, this is a Democratic city. There is no hiding that, a Democratic region of the state, and we're going to have to see if Mr. Simmons can make any waves as we move forward. Another candidate that is going to be semi-familiar with the people out there is State Senator Sandra Williams, elected to the state legislature in 2008. She represents the 21st district as a state senator that is much of Cleveland. Former U.S. Army Reserves, former corrections officer, again, an African-American female trying to make some waves here in Cleveland. That can only be positive.
No, it's absolutely positive. There's actually 2 African-American females running or trying to run for mayor of Cleveland. We actually have a video from the other female candidate on our website, the Office of Engagement website, and her name is Latoria Whitmer Rich. And so I think getting females into this race, I know that Sandra Williams had a lot to do with, revamping education in Cleveland previously. She actually is a product of the Cleveland Municipal Schools, John Hayes. So I think having issues that relate to women, since women obviously were harder hit by the pandemic recently in terms of their economic well-being. So I think that having a woman mayor, candidates will speak to a lot of women and the issues that they face in terms of working and, education for their children, keeping their neighborhood safe. So I think that that's going to add a lot to this mayoral race. I think that you want that diverse pool so you can speak to our different constituents about the issues that matter to them.
It is very exciting. We are speaking with Anita Ruf-Young. She is with the Cleveland State Levin College of Urban Affairs. They're doing a lot of work with their students to make sure that they're involved in the community and they understand what's going on. I always give the final word to my guests here, Anita. What do you want people to know moving forward? What engagement level do you want people to have? Because this is a big decision. If you're not a City of Cleveland resident, perhaps, well, you spend time in downtown Cleveland. You come to Indians games or Browns games. You go to the Cleveland Museum of Art. So this is a massive election, a very powerful position, not just for the City of Cleveland, but it really does impact Northeast Ohio. What is the final word that you want voters to think about?
I want young voters and all voters, if you're in the city of Cleveland or just Northeast Ohio, I want you to care about this race. I want you to get involved, research the candidates, get to know their platforms, get involved in their campaigns if what they're saying inspires you. A lot of them talk about transparency, wanting civic engagement, wanting the community to get involved. So I think looking at the issues that are facing Cleveland, if you care about, like you said, visiting Cleveland or working in Cleveland, the safety aspects of Cleveland, then this race should matter to you. And you should check out all the different candidates that are running and find a way that you can get involved or at least be informed.
Anita Ruf-Young with Cleveland State University, first-time guest. We loved having you. We're going to keep your phone number because this is going to be an interesting few months leading up to the September 14th primary, and then the 2 winners that come of that will go on to the November 2nd election. Anita, thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you, and thank you for focusing on this important race.
It really is important for the city of Cleveland and really Northeast Ohio. Thank you so much. Have a good day.
Bye-bye.
We wanted to bring you sort of this preview. We're going to be doing this from time to time because with 14 candidates, and we know that as of 4 o'clock is the deadline for them to get their paperwork in. I've been in contact with the Cuyahoga County Board of Elections. They are going to get me a list somewhere between 4 and 5 o'clock of those who actually put in the paperwork, did the due diligence, got the signatures, the petition around the city of Cleveland voters, and will, in fact, be on that September 14th ballot. So today is actually a very big day. It's the beginning of the campaign for the Cleveland mayor's race. I'm Dan DeRosa with 19 News Now. Want to thank you for joining us. Have a phenomenal afternoon. Take care.
19 News. First, fair, everywhere.